Welcome to our TuneIn concert today with Nathan Hamilton, based in Austin, Texas, with a brand new album coming out next month. That's October 20, I'm getting my years mixed up, 2024, Not One Among Us. So maybe we might hear some of the new tracks on that today or a blend of some new and old, but we hope to hear the stories behind the song because he's very much a storyteller and also an artist. So open up, tell us your process, play us some beautiful music, and we will try to stump you with our crazy questions.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you for having me. So I'm going to start with one it came out of wanting to sort of slow down. We're talking about technology. We're talking about just a minute ago about the devices and being online. And I was just it was a moment of just feeling kind of so distracted by that and wanting to slow things down. And it was hearkening back to a time before we were sort of ruled and defined by that technology. And I'm not anti-technology at all. I use it all the time in different ways. But this was sort of a wrestling with that. It's called All That We Might Find. There's a dirty-faced kid on a Kmart pony and a cherry icy laying on the ground. It's like blood spilling out of that cup and the blue light special coming down. Burned out trailer and the siren sings. A crazy porch lady's got a rat on a string, screaming at the kids that trample her flowers, running with their capes and Superman powers. Well, the rain's coming down on my windshield now, and I'm thinking on these childhood days. It all seems like a dream somehow I woke from and it slipped away. A 9 to 5 and the daily grind, trying to raise kids of my own, to give a full share of my heart and my time, and somehow make this house a home. But I miss the days in soft embrace and the stillness of our minds, when a sense of mystery remained in all that we might find. Well, they cut and cleared 1,000 pines and they built up 100 homes. Then they called the place 1,000 Pines, like some kind of twisted joke. In the age of information, screens of isolation bathe us in a cool blue glow. And the network imperfection, lack of real connection, left us feeling more alone. I miss the days in soft embrace and the stillness of our minds, when a sense of mystery remained in all that we might find, in all that we might find.
Yay! You get
Thanks, y'all.
the half silent applause, the half loud
Yeah,
applause, or maybe
yeah.
some emoticons. Yeah, it was really lovely. It's what inspires, I mean, I get the sense that your lyrics are inspired by like pictures of what you see just walking around and somehow you piece them together. What's your like lyrical process?
It's different, as I'm sure, might be your experience. There's not any one way. Sometimes it can be a really defined narrative, a very literal, observation of something. Sometimes it's just impressionistic, just sort of a string, as you said, of images that may not even be connected by a narrative, but more of a mood that just evokes sort of the emotion of the song. But you're correct that imagery and detail are very much at play when I'm whatever tact I'm taking. Oftentimes, it's definitely a picture or an image or a very sort of descriptive moment that will spur something.
Nice.
Yeah.
Malik?
I rarely set out to write a song with an intention, like this is going to be about XYZ. Sometimes that would be the case. There's certain songs that if I hear a story, and a news story or a human interest story, and I'll want to use that as a springboard. But typically, I sort of let the song reveal itself as I'm writing it.
Malachi, did you have a question?
Kind of off topic, but I see that you have a bunch of like a bunch of string instruments behind you.
I
Can
do.
you play, or how many of those can you play?
I can play all of them poorly.
Fair.
No, I use those for composing or writing, or like just and to have a different when a different instrument will produce a different approach to a song.
Yeah,
So if I feel stuck, if I go to the same chord patterns on a guitar, I'll go to a dulcimer or I'll go to a mandolin, and because it's not about my proficiency as a player. I know enough of the chords to sort of stumble around, but it has such a different voice that I respond to it differently. And so I do
yeah.
different songs out of those different instruments. So
I'm gonna bug you more. What is that big
sure.
one back there with the three tuners at the top? It's by the chords. It looks like it has a curved back and maybe three
Oh,
tuners.
yes. That's a Turkish instrument called a balelama. And it's a very droning sort of like a bouzouki or something. It's like a large dulcimer is basically what it is too. So it's actually 7 strings and with some drone,
Can we hear just
some
a
of the
little bit
same.
of it? You don't have to play a whole song on it, but can we hear what it sounds like?
Sure, you can hear it. You can hear it. It's probably way out of tune, but you'll get an idea. Let's see. And there's another one actually I'll show you that I really, really like that a friend made that's also a dulcimer. So this is it. It's just curved back.
Oh, that's really
And-
pretty.
Oh, it's way out of tune. I can tell already. But you hear that sort of almost not sitarish, but it has like that. It's a real droning kind. So it's when it's tuned up, and it definitely gives you a different voice or I might use it as an overdub, just as a textured layer when I'm recording. Put it back there.
That sounded good though.
And then this one that I really, really love, that I actually sit around and play just for fun quite frequently. And it's I have a friend that made these. He makes a bunch of them. He makes them out of coffee tins or biscuit tins, and he gets them. So this is like a copper pot.
Yeah, it looks like a cooking pot.
Yeah, and then he and he uses all different kinds of tins or cookie tins and makes these dulcimers out of them. And they're just beautiful. And you can play, you know. And you can just, you know, it's drone. You don't even have to know how to play an instrument. You know, you just put a finger anywhere and it sounds great. And it's just meditative too. You know, it's a cool little thing. And I've used this actually on I did a soundtrack for a film, and this is all over it. I used it on a lot of that score for sure.
What film was that?
It's a film called Fugitive Dreams.
Okay.
It's like a black and white art film, you know, very sort of fever dreamish kind of thing.
Okay.
But
Cool.
it's out there on in the ether.
Sweet. Well, can you play us another song?
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of ether, I'll do this. This is a song called Ether and Time. And this is one that, again, I didn't have any, when I started writing it, I just had sort of the chord progression, this. And it started with that, and I didn't have any intention or understanding of where the song might go lyrically. And I just, a lot of times I'll just speak gibberish. And I know there's a lot of songwriters will do this as a way in. You know, you just make sounds. And then sometimes those sounds, a word or a phrase will form out of those sounds. And then you're off and running from there. So, and I feel like this one probably started out that way. But it's more an impressionistic kind of thing. There's certain lines that are very clearly stated, and then the rest is sort of like just imagery and mood. Give me the mad ones and the sad ones and the ones who've got nothing to lose. Well, if you break the ranks, I would step out of line next to you. And you can cut all your ties and your talismans now. 'Cause all the stones that you carry aren't charms if they're holding you down. They're holding you down. You swear that you're fine, but it sure doesn't show in your face. And you're trying to steal time, and you're still just caged to each day. And we all have a passion and a poison to share. And the deepest of needs just to know that somebody cares. So I'm reaching out here to you through the ether and the time, to damn all of the doubts that cloud your mind, until it brings you back home. It brings you back home. Now you're standing in awe, and you're drunk and slack-jawed from the fight. And I see nailed to the wall a picture of two birds in flight. And I know that souls will prevail over ember and wave. Yeah, but these days it seems like your own life is the one that you save. So I'm reaching out here to you through the ether and the time, to dim all of the doubts that cloud our minds, until it brings us back home, brings us back home. Let it bring you back home, let it bring me back home. Yeah, there's something true. Back home to you.
Yay!
Yeah.
When did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar probably in fifth, sixth grade, something like that. My father and brother, both musicians. It was always in the house, grew up with it. But then I put it down because it was like their thing. And I just went into all other different mediums, theater and visual art, and picked the guitar back up again when I was about 19. And then like really started writing songs. Probably wrote my first song when I was about 19.
How do you think those other things, like a background in theater or visual arts, like how do you bring those to your music?
I think they're all, when think about that question before, and I think they're all related in the same way that an athlete that may, play a lot of different sports, you're exercising a lot of the similar, or, the muscles, and they all inform the other. They all kind of work together. It's just, at least that's my experience. And it helps if I feel stuck in any one area. I could always go to a canvas and paint if I feel like I'm stuck in the songwriting, or just go write poetry or some other kind of thing. There's always like another door to open and another room to go into, rather than just sort of being stagnant and not doing anything. So I find that they all work in tandem really well. There's always an outlet. There's always something you can do.
I think yeah, I think you hit it on the nail with that, because I think there's an illusion that, like, if you're a musician, like, you only do music. And I think so much of what a musician brings to the music is just their everyday life. Like, they could be into gardening, or they love to
Absolutely.
jog, or they love to swim. And it's in doing those other things that I think probably most of the ideas for the songs come.
Right,
It's not
right.
like just a bubble of musician in a room all day long, every day making something. It's like they have to live too.
Yeah. I mean, I think the best songs, I feel like the best songs I've written were ones that I didn't really labor over. They were ones that came to me in a moment when I wasn't necessarily with the instrument, And I do think it's a holistic approach to the whole thing. As you say, it doesn't even have to be in the arts, It can very well be with your hands in the dirt, It's yeah. Inspiration shows up in all sorts of places if you're ready to receive it.
Maliki, any follow-up question or no?
Alec, I've
Okay.
got a question for you.
All
How old are you?
right.
Yeah, how
I'm
old are you?
16. 16.
16. And are you're writing songs, obviously, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long have you been writing songs?
Mm, I've been making music. I got into it like half a year ago again, but
Okay.
I've just messed around with like an iPad app where you can like draw MIDI and stuff uh a
Was it
while
like a
ago.
garage band kind of thing?
Kinda, yeah.
And what is your take on like technology, AI, writing songs, whether you play an instrument or not, because that's sort of where we are now. There's people that they may have an ear for melody and rhythm, but may not have an instrument. Maybe they didn't have access to one for whatever reason, but they hear the songs in their head and in their heart. And now there's technology that you just sing into it and it can create an entirely produced track for you. What is your experience with all of that? Have you ventured into that, or what do you think about it?
The most I've been like into the AI sphere is I also do art, and
Mhm.
I was doing art, and like my interests sometimes shift. But when the AI art thing kind of exploded, uh, I was in the like art world, and
Mhm.
many people were very unhappy with AI art. Um, um, and so I probably do have an internal bias against AI.
Against
But
it?
if it's like okay, like AI is of course like not inherently bad. It's like I don't know one thing off the top of my head, but there's like a lot bunch of AI things that we don't think of as AI but are normal and are
Sure.
just helpful.
Right.
Uh,
Many of our
but
apps,
yeah.
things that we use every day on our
Mhm.
phones or something. Right.
Mhm.
That's
Uh,
interesting. Thank you for sharing that because, um, I'm 57 years old and I'm, like ancient but still trying to not be, despite that earlier song, I'm not anti-technology and I am trying to be, open to where it's going, how it may be used, for better. I do think that one thing that will always be, I was talking about somebody at a show the other night, was that no matter what AI does with how we consume music and how it's created, you know, for our devices, it will never be able to create what is experienced in a live performance with a living, breathing human being. I don't think. I don't see how that ever changes. So the idea of people not wanting to maybe develop their skills as a songwriter or a musician because machines are going to do it all, for us and eventually at an even maybe higher level, I think is a misstep when I hear people, sort of voice that, because when the wires go down and you're all sitting around in a blackout, somebody that can vocalize or pat their leg or do something, or play a stringed instrument is going to be really, really important, or on a camping trip or anything. That's never going to go away. So I think, if anything, people will probably lean into that more. And maybe I'm just being super optimistic about that, but I don't know. I appreciate hearing your take on it. Because I also think that as a creator, if you're just inputting information into an AI platform and it spits out a song, in the style of, I don't know, Leonard Cohen or whatever, and it produces this amazing piece, you as the person that would then be presenting that, I would have to think, deep down how shallow that return is, because you didn't actually create anything. You just sort of input something.
and the fun is kind of in the making it. Like for me, half the fun is knowing that I made the thing that I made. I'm like, wow, this sounds really good. I made that. That's
Exactly.
half the, if something else made it, I'm like, cool. I want to be able to do that.
Right. And AI is not going to know your personal story or the lens of experience that you view things from. And so that's those little details and of your story are going to be in there in a way that, I don't know, that
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I was thinking about that. Like, it's not going to know your specificity, and you have a lot of specificity in your writing. And that, I think, is the core of like making music, is like Malachi has all these experiences in life that he's had. Some of them might be the same, a lot of them are very different than mine. And you have your own experiences. And then somehow the way time and memory works and associations. If I say ice cream and you think black eye and Malachi thinks strawberry and I think like melting on my hand, those are three different things, you know, with three
Right.
different
Yeah.
stories behind it. You know, I might be at a carnival, you might have gotten beat up on the lunch, you know, at the playground on lunch because someone wanted
Right.
your ice cream.
Someone knocked your
And
ice cream
Malachi
out of
just
your hand.
Malachi's just thinking, I want some strawberry ice cream.
Right.
Or like I don't know if I still have them, but I have food allergies, or I don't know if I do, but I had them. I just haven't eaten anything from my food allergies like list, so we don't know if I still do. But like you think ice cream, I think of something completely different. Like I've never gone to an ice cream to an ice cream truck and gotten ice cream ever. I think,
Yeah,
Right.
it's crazy. Yeah,
Right.
it's different.
Wow.
or at least
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Totally different experience in not having had it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. That's great.
Well, we got
I
time
have
for
had ice cream, just not with a bunch with like the
Right. And
normal
right. Right.
ice cream.
Right.
we have time for
Hmm.
one more if you want to take us
One
out
more?
on a song. Yeah, if you're available.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
A song about ice cream.
So
Just joking.
I had a cherry icy in the first song. Not quite ice cream, but let's see. All right. Yeah. This is one of those that's just sort of an impressionistic, you know, again, talking about pictures and images, and it started out as just out of a mood. And this is one that came out really pretty quickly when I was writing it. Spent kitchen matches on the table, tobacco is burning, there's apple wine in a fruit jar. I know where you are, you're by the water, and you're down to the river, and you throw in a stone, saying goodbye to November, but I'll see you later. I'll see you later, later on. Well, the whistle of the kettle, it cries louder now than you. Yes, and the whiskey, night has fallen, the fields are burning under the moon, and we're down to the river, and we throw in a stone, saying goodbye to November, but I'll see you later. I'll see you later, later on. those Christ-read words on Bible pages in an old gas station radio. And there were rocks and coins for favors traded, one last kiss to savor before I go. And I go down to the river to throw in a stone, saying goodbye to November, but I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'll see you later on.
Oh, what a perfect one to say goodbye on.
See you later.
Later, Nathan. Thanks so much for joining us at Tuneagers. It's really cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me. And thank you, Malika, for being here. Maliki, for being here.
Cool. And where can we find more about your music?
NathanHamilton.com. And then it
Okay.
will lead you to all the different places you
Sweet.
may want to go.
The good old internet. So I will
That's
make
right.
sure and include that with our video in the library so students can meander over there. And otherwise, that's a wrap. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.